Yeah. Let's go, motherfucking Monday Lions. Previously on Kimba TV. So we talked about it yesterday. We talked about it the day before. We talked about it the day before that. Volume, time, point of control, swing high, swing low, mathematical confluence as well. And what's really cool is, I mean, it was 3-4 days ago when a bunch of Lions were already talking about, you know, hey, Kimba, instead of doing the traditional Kimba box like this, what do you think about doing a Kimba box like this? Mic check. Are we Gucci? Are we Gucci? I don't know if we're Gucci. Yeah. All right, we got to be quiet. Baby girl's still sleeping, but we getting nasty, y'all. Happy Monday, y'all. How we doing? Everybody know what the plan is? We're going to be watching that. Lazarus. And we're going to let us up. It's going to sweep one of the weekend lows, right? So either that one or ideally that one. And that also lines up with the smaller time frame Fibonacci. So something like, well, this is possible, I guess. The yellow one is the one we really want. You know, maybe you get a bounce there, but that is probably a no-go. Okay. Yeah, so we'll get caught up on, we'll do some TA. But just right off the bat, since it is happening so quickly, and, you know, we're going to let us up. We're going to vibe out on some music, but just in case there's anybody that's like, fuck, I need to know what's going on. What the fuck is going on? Well, that's probably, those are your long setups probably. I probably would take this sweep and close the short here. Yeah, so there you go. Just in case I'm still doing roll call and it happens, that's probably a potential long. I'm not in a long right now. How do I make this? I'm not in anything. All right, okie dokie. And I'll probably close this if we get a swing fail pattern. Roger that. You gotta be caught up on the Friday video to understand that we closed above my 40,150. So for the shorter time frame, I'm bullish. I gotta be bullish or understand that the markets are bullish. And if you were here for the, hey man, we got a long the 38, 39, 40 zone narrative, what would you expect my target to be, like on the higher time frame? Up towards like that 45 thing. And then I'll probably short 45. Back to 30, 31, 32, 33. Something like that, ladies and gentlemen. I know that 41, 350 kind of looks like a really interesting level because that's a weekend low. Fuck that weekend PA. Whatever happened over the weekend, go fuck yourself type of shit, you know? Like from... there's weekend longers. Let's stop them all out. Swing fail. I don't really care how low it goes. You know, obviously you guys see the single prints down there. I don't really care too much how low it goes, but it has to be like a swing fail. It's got to show bullish edge like structurally. So if it does something like that, then that might be a long. Alrighty. And then we'll go through like high block and Kingfisher right now, but just in case. Fabos is closing 100% of that short. Most likely, Fabo. Yes. Because it all depends, Fabo. Like, have you been able to follow along the last couple weeks? Have you been able to follow along the last couple weeks, brother? Yeah, all days? Okay. Like, it depends on your subconscious bias, you know? For me, I kind of knew that I wanted to short here or short anything above here, whether it went to 50 or 51 or 52, you know? So I was more willing to short there. And, you know, during this phase, we started talking about 38, 39. We might have to long this, right? And then we also talked about how 40,150, this green line, if it had a weekly candle close above that, that's also bullish, you know? So for me, ever since seeing this, I knew, you know, we should have longed this. Remember when we had this? I forget what day's highlight it is, but we did something like this. You know? And then I got stopped out on this. Remember? And so, and then it just popped. And so just looking at it, the weekend sweep would probably be the strategically best place if I wanted to catch a long. And so instead of trying to put blind limits in here, you know, you don't want to get stopped out on the single prints. And so maybe like stop loss here, Kimba box is probably okay. Or maybe you just go Kimba box. Yeah, maybe you just go Kimba box, but you go top heavy. I don't know. But yeah, now that you had a weekly candle close above 40,150, I would be looking to get into a long. And so like the continuation of this move makes sense. And so like just invalidating all the weekend shit. So like stopping those weekend longers out. Yeah. So if I can get it being, yeah, I would Fabo, I would probably close my short, but I would, yeah, 100%. And that's it. Yeah, but for me anyways, Fabo, and then I would probably go big short again around like the 45, 46. Blind Maiden says not hedge long. Well, there's really no right or wrong. No one's going to be able to predict the future. For me, I would probably close the whole short and then I would re-enter at like the 45, 46 area. Yeah, but who knows? Maybe I completely fuck it up and it just like fails auctions up there and it nukes to 32 and there was no reason for me to close the whole thing. Not, you know, I don't know. Blind Maiden. I'm going to just have to take it level by level. But for me, like I already knew that 38, 39, 40 was a potential area to long. I actually got into a 39.6 long, but I pussyfooted and got stopped out at tiny profit. And if I had kept my original stop loss, I would be juicing on a long right now, on a hedge long already. So I kind of fucked up. I'm already derailed off of the ideal scenario because I pussyfooted and got stopped out on a hedge long from 39.6. So that kind of puts me in a different situation. The ideal scenario is I have this short still running and I can TP the whole thing if it comes down here and I already have my hedge long still running. You have to take all that into consideration. JV says, why you think we won't take those single prints below? It could, JV. So I don't know if you're listening carefully enough. What am I looking for? JV, I'm looking for a swing failure pattern. So does that mean that I need it to go to a certain level? I do not. I just need it to come back up to a certain level. So I don't care if it goes grabs all those single prints, it has to close above 41,360-ish on a 30-minute candle close. I don't care how low it goes. So maybe it does grab all those single prints. That would be Gucci, right? Especially if you look at where the 7.5 and 7.86 is. That's the bottom of retail arena that we've had for quite some time. Bottom, 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 bottom. Bottom, 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 bottom. Of course, I would love a bullish retest of the lower range of retail arena to be able to rotate fully back up to 45. So yeah, I never said that it can't go there. What I said I'm looking for is a swing failure pattern. So for me, I don't care how low it goes. It just has to settle above 41,360 and hold that for a couple of 30-minute candle closes. And we have the Fibonacci right in front of your face. And so you know that even if it bounced from here, the 0.5 is pixel perfect to the sweep level. And so what have we seen multiple times off when it bounces off of the 7.5 and it pierces through? The pivot is really here, right? And if that's just a bearish retest, then I'm not going to close my short. So it's going to all be reactionary. I hope everybody understands that. I'll probably first get into a small hedge long and then be patient with closing out the short, but I'll close it out fully. So for those of you that are like, what about the single prints? Yeah, maybe it does grab it, but even if it does, you still have clearances and levels that you need to get above. So you Gucci? I see you. Everybody sees it, right? And if you're a new lion, maybe you haven't seen this, but the OG veteran lions can tell you this is something that we see many, 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 many times. So even if it does bounce off of the single prints, and even if it does bounce off of the blue line, and even if this, and this, you've got mathematical levels, you got sweep levels, you got a lot of levels just right there confluencing that you know you've got to flip back into support. Or if you're in a short, okay, so if you're in a short, you would hate to see a swing failure pattern on the 30-minute. So what that means is regardless of how low the price goes, if the candle tucks above this, you would be like, oh fuck, that's a bummer. And you might want to start market shaving a little bit of your short. Okay, a swing fail pattern, you need 2, 3. Fuck, I'm allergic to these where TP questions. A swing fail is not concluded or formed on just, a one candle close. It's progressions of multiple candle closes. Okay? So you need 2, 3 30-minute candle closes. Okie dokie. We'll see it together if it does happen. We'll see it live together, brother. But you gotta figure out what you want to do right now. Not like, okay, I'm going to watch Kimba and see what positions open up on the bottom of the stream. No, that's stupid. Make sure you do you. So some of you guys might put blind limits in. Some of you guys might put more weight into the Fibonacci. Some of you guys might wait for the swing fail pattern. Some of you guys might be watching the open interest and the CVD. So if the open interest is collapsing, or if you can front run a hidden bull div, then you guys might, instead of waiting for a 30-minute candle close, you might say, fuck it, I'm going to take a 5-minute or a 15-minute candle close. Do you, boo-boo? Any questions? And then, as always, make sure your dumbasses have a stop loss because it cannot work. Including me. My dumbass needs to make sure we have a stop loss too. Are we Gucci, Lions? We're about to let us up. How many of y'all just want it straight to go to 45? You nasty. How many of y'all just want a straight, green dildo to 45? Right meow. Right meow. Oh, you nasty, oh no bono. Well, that's juicy as fuck to hear that y'all are juicing. Y'all are nasty. That's beautiful, Domzer. Keep it up, man. So let's try to. I'll probably do like another recap in maybe another hour. I need to see more data. I thought this hourly candle close was going to be good enough. It's not. So I need to see a couple more 30-minute candle closes. Shorts are getting squeezed really nicely. I mean, this whole move, right? If you zoom out, like how we had earlier. So if you line it up to 38.5, 32 million in longs open, 14 million in shorts closed, 20 million in shorts closed, 31 million in longs open. Gotta get ready for the nasty Bugatti, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta be ready for the nasty Bugatti. If you know, you know. ETH BTC. Don't Be Late says, definitely in top shape this week. Let's go, Don't Be Late. FOMC Wednesday, bitches. Let's go, let's go. Zocker, let's go. Mamma Mia, Zatus. Nailed it, Oceanic, Mr. Bach. Fadila, Elliot, Rickson. Carsis, Scripted, Yordi. Boy Alvarado. Let's go. Schwiggity. Goddamn schwaggity. God damn, ladies and gentlemen. We're giving away like 50 G's on Wednesday. Are you guys ready? Exclamation giveaway.
What did you say?
Oh, what is that?
Told us to be prepared.
Mango just cheered 100. What do you think of Coinbase long in this area holding? Let me show you Coinbase.
I said we strong then.
Thank you for that, brother. Here you go. If you front ran the golden pocket, then awesome. Otherwise, those are poor lows, and I would expect it to get swept. So I'm trying to be patient. Okie dokie. Mango Eric. Yeah, so if you front ran it and you're already in from 119 or 120, then that's cool. But those daily candles are poor lows. And I still think it would come down and sweep. Maybe like, yeah, I do want it to go like sub 100. But no, if I were to be getting into a long like on this for Bing X, I wouldn't. I would still be waiting. I wouldn't be in a position yet. Yeah, but if you're already in a long from these levels down here, front running the golden pocket, then just put your stop loss at break even or like right around the gap or the point of control and just see what happens. Yeah, but I am going to start trading this on Bing X, exclamation Bing X. Express says, I rewinded and I am caught up. Very unlucky you got stop loss on the hedge long. That's okay. But do you remember when we did? That was over a week ago. Yeah. So if you watch the highlights from the 24th, we draw it like this, right? Got filled, stopped out. So that's from last week. You were here? Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Fuck. And then before this little nasty, I was trying to get filled right there and close out my short. Did you hear like how I was talking about closing out my whole short? So now I have to see like how this single prints and how this does. I probably have to wait through Macaulay Culkin, which is kind of annoying. Bugatti. That's correct. Yeah, and you also saw my stop losses in Profit Express. So yeah, for me, nothing has really changed. I just wish that I didn't get stopped out, but that's about it. But in terms of, I mean, we were talking about longing this area here. And even though we missed this, we put together a plan. And aside from getting stopped out, it was still the right Thangity thang. So yeah, and just kind of builds on the confluence and confidence of shorting the 45-46 zone. So let's see. Bugatti. Everybody straight juicing. On Friday, we left off with a couple of sort of milestones and trigger points, you know, and one of the key things that we talked about was if the weekly candle closes above 40,150, I would be bullish. So the other things were a little bit smaller, but that was one of the biggest things that we were watching for and we kind of stressed and we talked about. So, you know, everything that we wanted, it got triggered, meaning I'm on the smaller and medium time frame bullish, you know, and it's not really so much that we're just deciding just because of that. We knew from a while back, even before we got to the 38, 39, 40, we were talking about who's going to be longing that, et cetera, et cetera. And then we had our own long attempt at 39.6 that we got stopped out on, unfortunately. So there's all of those moments from the past where we talked about the potential TPs for the hedge long that we would be in. Do you remember that? So every pullback that we can get, I would love to see if it makes sense and the RR is good enough for me to take a stab at a long, you know? But in a lot of these cases, like it doesn't even go back to golden pockets and it barely touches the 382. And when it goes, it goes. And if you've been around long enough with me, you know exactly what I'm talking about because sometimes we're in a long and it doesn't do a reaction like this. And those are the ones that usually get round tripped. And the ones that usually go are the ones that if we're lucky enough, we didn't get stopped out or, you know, we risked taking a little bit of an L and we're still in type of bullshit. Yeah, so that's where we're at. So this morning, we were talking about identifying weak lows and poor lows. And so I was like, oh man, I would love to sweep 41,360 and then close all of my shorts and go long. So that was the plan this morning. It just has flew right by. And so I think the next thing is, instead of chasing along, if it continues to go, I'm going to just get stopped out in profit. And then I'm going to attempt to short somewhere between 45, 46. And if you really want to nerd out, you can always rewind and go back to when we talked about those levels. But I think the easier and the better thing to try would be to load up free Addis because Addis is free. And take a look at the 30 minutes TPO levels, identify single prints, right? Take a look at fixed range volume profile on TradingView on CME, Coinbase, Bybit, BTC, USD, and Binance, USDT, and identify levels volume wise between the 45 and 46, pull some swing high, swing low fibs, and you're going to start to see some obvious confluence between 45, 46. So you could really nerd out, zoom in, and focus on very specific zones, or you could just say, fuck it, and do 1, 2, 3, 4 between Kimba box. You already know what it is. And as always, don't do some goofy shit like holding a red short because I still have my $300,000 in profit short. You know, figure out how you want to start to add if you want to add or, you know, close out the whole thing and re-enter. That's kind of individualistic. Okay. If you really want, you could tell me exactly what your situation is, what your entry stop loss and profit is, what your average is. And, you know, and we could do the math and figure out what would be the most profit maximizing thing for you. But it should be like a simple math equation, to be honest. We know exactly what the realized would be if we got closed out here. What about if we closed out here? What if I get stopped out here? And it's just a matter of being, you know, which one is Gucci for you. Calm says, I know market is bullish, but what do you think of 43, 589? What I would just say in general, brother, is that I think it's not too difficult for all of us to find levels of interest. But I think it's really just going to come down to what actually is happening at that level. So for example, if somebody could tell you that, hey, bro, there's a whole bunch of people opening longs, you might take that situation differently than if somebody were to tell you, hey, brother, these shorts are going to get squeezed out and we're going to pump because of that, right? And the cool thing is you can look at things like net short, open interest, CVD, and open interest delta across different exchanges and kind of tell what's actually happening. So, yeah, it could be like a pivot point where 43,589 could reject it, but for me, I'm not going to short until 45.46, something like that. But there's nothing wrong, brother. Like, we were talking about 48, 49, 38, 39, 40 long, right? I didn't have initially anything set. I got into a long at 39.6, got round tripped and stopped out for tiny profit, right? But there's people that blind limit entered at 38, low 38s, There were people that even though they entered at the same place I did at 39.6, kept the stop loss, the original stop loss for a tiny loss. And so they never got stopped out and they're juicing. So, it kind of it all depends on your subconscious bias. Alrighty. So yeah, there's no right or wrong, brother. And I would think in general, if you have enough confluence at 43589, let's say that it's like a 15-minute bear div. It's not even like a CVD hidden bear div. Fuck it. It's just some like ghetto ass, basic ass, thoughty ass, 15-minute bear div, but it's golden pocket on some goofy ass thangity thang, and maybe you've got a little bit of confluence. So even if you're wrong on shorting 43589, if you have the discipline enough, as soon as it reacts and it buys you a little bit of space and you're in profit, if you have the guts or the discipline or whatever terminology you would want to phrase it, if you can put it at stop loss, break even, or tiny loss, it's usually not that big of a deal. You can just sit back, relax, and see if it works out or not. So, and no one's going to eat your lunch for it. And I think it's quite admirable that you would still take it and have the discipline to not go too fucking nuts. It's not a crazy leverage position. It's not a crazy big position size position. And you can just, if it works out, execute your TP, and make sure that your risk reward makes sense mathematically. Yeah, and no matter what happens, you're going to be able to juice up and learn and improve. It's not really about this specific trade. It's about the 1,000 other, future quote-unquote 43589 opportunities. So let's get nasty, brother. I'm rooting for you, whatever you end up doing. So me personally, I'm going to just have to wait until 45, 46, but you got to do you. And just because I'm doing it one way doesn't mean that you can't do it your way. And I was thinking I was going to be able to close my short and go full long, right? It might not be like a 38, 39 or even a 40 entry, but I thought maybe today I could get into like a 41 blank entry long. Clearly this motherfucker has flown without me. But if you were here in earlier today, I really wanted that like sweep long, the weekend long sweep. Now that it has pumped and it's this high up, I'm going to be shorting 45, 46. So almost in a goofy way, I need the interest, whatever that is, whether it's already priced in or whether it's a reverse psychology play. I need the reaction to be negative, I feel like, if I'm in a 45, 46 short. Yeah, so I'll know more tomorrow when we see how the Bugammas play out tomorrow. I need to see how the Bugammas play out. We always look at the Bugammas the day before FOMC, CPI, GDP, So especially since it's end of the month type of shit and like beginning of the year, we'll wait until the Bugammas come out tomorrow and see how the 0 days react. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. How many people hoping that the FOMC is just a complete shit show and it takes us down to 31K? Shit show FOMC crash. Oh man. Well, but everybody knows what I'm looking at, right? For me, if it goes to that level and it gives me the structural edge, I'm taking it long. But that's if we go back all the way down that way. But aside from that, you know, I don't know if I'm going to have an opportunity before I have to think about shorting and adding at the 45, 46. So Psycho Hunter says .BTC on the daily. I think retest on 382. Okay, so enough of you guys are asking me about this. So here. So this. I'm still waiting for lower. Yeah. Yes, I'm still waiting for lower, especially because I'm waiting for ETH, and I can't see myself longing DOT before I long ETH. So unfortunately for me, I'm waiting a little bit, Psycho Hunter, but there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with taking this and just being patient and getting filled all the way. You know, I'm waiting for here, but there's nothing wrong with casting a wider net. Just in case, because if you're more aggressive than I am and if you don't want to miss out on it, this would make sense. But this is the daily though, and I think we're both looking at it. You know, best case, I get something like this maybe. Either way, it would only be like this much. And look at that. That I would like that. Whoops. Yeah, so that would a little bit be better for me. You can see that right there. You can see this cluster. Anyways, we can check it again tomorrow if you want. Hopefully it's not like here. Fuck, maybe it will be, huh? Yeah, because I don't know how long you've been following me, follow ETH BTC pair, but we were already talking about bounce on the first one, 0.5, and then have that be like the let the VWAP catch up type of shit. Let me check previous day for you guys. Any questions? Yeah, so there you go. Daily open outside of previous day. Value area high, y'all. So if 42915 gets turned into resistance, then 42,000, you might be looking at that. That's interessante. Ladies and gentlemen. Jazz boys, is there a chance for full reversal? I don't know about full reversal, but you know about full rotational plays, right? So, yeah, if you lose 42.9 and if you lose 42.9, you have a chance for 42,000. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will miss y'all, but I will see you guys tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty chill, pretty. I mean, I guess it's I wouldn't say uneventful, but what a little run up. We wanted to get along at 41,360. It just went without us, Bugatti. Yeah, let's see. Looking to short 45, 46. I'll add. If we can get any porta pullback, whether it's like the 41.3 or 42, that's a long. And if I do take it, I'll try to take it on the VIP. Okie dokie. All right, y'all. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bears, bulls, we're all lions. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. He gonna smack the shit out of you. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday. Have a great night. Love you guys, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Letuche.